program is brought to you by P. Murphy and Associates, successfully providing IT professionals to Southern California businesses.
Hi, this is Marlene Gibb with What Do You Do? And today's guest is Lura Harrison. And Lura, what do you do?
Marlene, I work with businesses who are having a problem with their reputation. And many of them are trying to figure out this whole new world of customer reviews. Customer reviews have changed the landscape of how all businesses operate now. And I try to help take away some of the helplessness by demonstrating to them and teaching them what they need to do to build, manage, and monitor their reputation.
Okay, so I'm going to have you, let's pretend I got a bad review on my show, okay? And I call you, and I said, I've got a bad review. How do I handle this?
Okay, the first thing we would do is take a look at the review.
Okay, it was awful.
Okay.
It was like a 0 minus.
Okay. A lot of times what happens is people see a review, and it hurts because this is your business, this is your baby, and somebody has gone out in public and told the whole world your baby is ugly, and, you know, don't go kiss your baby, don't go do business with you.
Right.
And customers or business owners react in different ways. They're hurt, they're angry, they want to go online and make that person pay. And the first thing I do is talk to people about calming down, stepping back, and trying to take a look from the customer's point of view and trying to understand, why did this person go online and do this? And we talk about how you want to handle this. And the first thing you want to do is really see if you can get in touch with this customer, bring the customer offline, and handle whatever went wrong to see if you can fix it. Because the main thing you don't want to do is get into a dispute online. Right, because you're going to lose.
And it's going to get real ugly.
And in public opinion, you're going to lose, no matter what you say, no matter how you handle it. If you attack that customer, you lose. And so I would have you look at what this customer said. Is there any truth in what the customer said? If the customer made comments that were accurate, the first thing you want to do in responding to that customer is acknowledge the things that went wrong and apologize. Apologizing takes a lot of the air out of the anger.
Yeah, let's say, how can we resolve this?
Exactly. To give you an example, I used to manage a store, and sometimes customers would come in and they were steamed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been in that position. Yeah.
And
you got to silence that so they can talk.
You have to let them talk.
Yeah, talk it out if it's a half hour.
Exactly. The first thing I would do is let them get it out. Let them just get it out. And then I would apologize. And then I would say, tell me how you wanted it done. And then I would personally take care of it. You don't send that customer elsewhere. You don't send that customer and ask somebody else to take care of it. I personally take care of it. And I then make sure that customer is happy. And what we find is that when businesses handle negative reviews properly, about 33% of customers will actually go back online, update that review, and say, hey, I'm not angry anymore. The owner got in touch with me. The owner listened to me. We resolved this. I'm a happy camper. So you can fix this, but you have to do it in an appropriate manner. Sometimes you have people who are what we call online trolls. They just like to go online and
what are they called?
Trolls.
Trolls?
Trolls. Troll.
Okay, trolls. Okay.
They just like to make life difficult. They don't really have anything they're upset about. You can't fix that. What you can do is make sure that you don't get into an argument with that person. You go online, you say, I'm sorry, things didn't work out.
How would you know a troll from a real complaint?
Well, you can read the context of the comments. Okay, again, you're looking to see if they've said anything that's valid, because sometimes
they'll just spew like.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with someone who's just in a hate mode,
yeah,
you can't do anything about that.
Okay.
Okay. Again, all you can do is say, I'm sorry. But again, the first thing you want to do is private message the person. Try to take that person offline. Say, here's my number. This is my personal number. Contact me. I want to talk. Let me see if we can resolve this. That's the best of that world. Sometimes they will respond, sometimes they won't. But in any event, you need to go online and respond. And by respond, I mean you need to acknowledge that you've seen the review. Because you're not just talking to that customer who's upset, you're talking to all the prospects who might be interested in your business, who see what this customer has to say. And they're looking to see how you're going to handle this. And if you handle this by attacking that customer, you've lost more business. But if you go online and you're reasonable and you're honorable and you're professional, that will impress many people.
Well, if you feel maybe it was a staff person that did something that upset the customer, and you feel that is an honest complaint, then you'll easily handle it.
Yes, and what happens in many cases, you go in and you look at a number of negative reviews that a business is getting, and you'll start to see some of the same patterns come up, where people say, the people in the front desk are rude.
Right.
I came in and, I sat there for an hour and they didn't talk to me. When I asked them questions, they were snippy with me. When you start to see the same complaints over and over and over again, you've got a problem and you need to address that problem. If you run an auto dealership, for example, and or a car repair service, and you're seeing complaints where multiple people are saying, Alex was rude. Alex cheated me. Alex was nasty to me. Alex is a problem.
Right, exactly.
And you need to address the problem with Alex. And you need to go online and say to those customers, thank you. I apologize. I have read your comments. We are dealing with it here. Please give us another opportunity. But I do want you to know that we care about your patronage. This is not how we do business. Please give us another chance.
Right, and you fire Alex.
You either fire Alex or you retrain him.
Yeah.
But in any event, you have to impress upon Alex that the things you do affect this business. And treating our customers this way is not acceptable. And so you're either going to have to change or you're going to have to go.
Clear. Okay, so now you're educating people. So so we're on step 1 or 2 now. Okay, what's step 3?
Well, the long-term process is what I try to get across to clients is the problem isn't that one person went online and wrote a negative review about you, or something that happens even more commonly is customers write great reviews.
Yeah.
And on some sites, for example, Yelp, the reviews are never seen. If you go to the bottom of a page on a Yelp page, often you'll see it says, these reviews were not recommended. It's kind of grayed out. It's very hard to find. When you click on that, you will find a lot of a business's 5-star reviews. And businesses don't understand that. In fact, a lot of times customers will call and say, hey, I wrote you a great review, but I went to Yelp, it's not there. What happened? And customers or my customers feel frustrated because they don't know how to get their great reviews seen, and they feel helpless. And so one of the things that I try to impress upon them is this is a whole new world. Customer reviews have changed the way we do marketing. They are not going away. Customer review sites are not going away. They're a good thing when they're used properly. But what you have to understand as a business owner is you can't leave the managing of your reputation to customer review sites. We have a very simple solution when 5-star reviews are being hidden. We help business owners promote their 5-star reviews by actually creating a reputation video that focuses just on the review. And these are very simple. They're very straightforward. They're 1 minute. And the review is the star of the video. And this works because it's not the business owner telling people how great his or her business is. It's the customer. And people, it actually works better than being on the page in a customer review site like Yelp, because people pay attention to videos. And it's just the customer review. It's just the review. Here's an example of one of them.
We love our customers and work incredibly hard to make them happy, so when they love us back by giving us a glowing review online, we just have to share what they're saying.
We were upgraded to a 3-bedroom, 2-bath suite on the 17th floor. Each room faced the ocean. Large furnished kitchen, large living room, huge master bedroom. 4 LCD TVs, large balcony off the living room to see the ocean, and another large balcony in the master bedroom. All of the staff were extremely friendly, and the free breakfast was fantastic. The view was stunning. One of the nicest hotels we have ever stayed in.
But don't take their word for it. We're confident that you'll love the value and attention to detail that our team delivers. Thanks for taking a moment to check us out. We're excited about serving you and the people you care about. Don't hesitate to call us on the number on your screen. We look forward to doing business with you.
Our business thrives on happy customers. So when they write to tell us we did a good job, we love to share that feedback so they know how we appreciate their words. We spend countless hours to ensure that we deliver the absolute best customer service out there. So when we receive a 5-star review like this one, we know we are succeeding in our goal. So the only real question you have to ask yourself is, what are you waiting for? See what excellent results we can achieve working for you by utilizing our extensive knowledge and experience. We hope you enjoyed our small section of the internet today. We look forward to talking to you.
Customer reviews, when you go to a search engine now, for example, a Google, and you Google a business's name, one of the first things you will see is Yelps, or you will see the stars, you will see ratings, you will see customer comments. And if you're not proactively creating content or search engines to place there with your name, then you're leaving a gap there that they will fill with Yelp. Think about it. Search engines are in the business of providing the best answers for people who are searching. And so they think about when someone searches for, so what do you do? Or they search for Marlene Gibb TV show. What is it they actually want? And they try to find content that they think will satisfy the people who are searching. And so if you're not putting out fresh content, if you're not putting out your shows, for example, for people to see them, then the only thing the search engines have to put in that space is what they find on Yelp, or they find on other customer review sites, what people are saying about you. And so the lesson is you have to be proactive. You have to create your own content. You have to have a blog. You have to be on social media sites. You have to create your own videos. You have to have content out there that people can see instead of reviews. You have to have a way to naturally push reviews down. Because what you're trying to do is take back control over your reputation.
So by using social media and LinkedIn?
Well, what you want to start with is a plan, okay?
Plan.
And it goes back to
The blog.
You know, who are we as a business?
Right.
You know, who's our ideal customer? What's the main problem my ideal customer has? And what is it that I do for that customer? And then you want to go about educating. You know, if you're a roofer, you're in a business of providing protection for a home. And there are a lot of questions people have before they buy a roof.
Oh, I know that. And roofers have some of the worst reputations.
Some of the worst reputations, which is a real opportunity for you if you are a good roofer and you're an ethical roofer. You take your blog and you educate. You teach people what kinds of questions to ask. You teach people how to take care of their roof. You teach people what to look for when you get ready to get a roof. You teach people how to know when it's time to get a roof. You think about the main questions the customers have, and you spend time answering those things. And you spend time syndicating that information so that it's all over. It's all over the internet.
So the content, your content or my content, is very, very important. Because I really feel I'm a content provider. If I look at
Yes,
it
you are.
with my show, with people
Absolutely.
like you and all, the
Absolutely.
people I have, so I become a content provider in many ways.
Yes, but what you're really doing is sharing your expertise.
Exactly.
Because I say content provider, and that's what I do professionally, and people think, well, I'm not a content provider, I'm a roofer, or I'm a business owner. Yes, you are, but you're also someone who shares expertise, who has an expertise, and people who are coming to you because they need that expertise. Otherwise, they do it themselves.
Right.
And so your opportunity is to figure out what is it people need from me and to give them that.
That's good. So if they're not good writers and not good content providers, do you do the writing, or do you recommend people to, or do you work with other website developers and work on the content, or talk to them about the content?
I do all of those things, yes.
So are you kind of like the whole package besides the reputation part? I mean, you are the whole package?
Well, in the past, I've been the whole package,
Right.
and it's a difficult way to run a business. And what I've started to do is partner with people. You know, I partner with good designers. I partner with great web developers. Because what I really enjoy doing is sitting down with a business and trying to understand the business and trying to understand what they're trying to accomplish, and really working with them on the plan. And a good content plan.
So these things can be avoided with the reputation too.
Yeah, the one thing for businesses to understand
I don't think they understand. I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm thinking, okay, if I have good content in their minds, I don't think they really think about reputation till it hits.
Exactly.
You know, it really hits. I mean, you know, if you're in a small town and someone doesn't like it, it gets around real fast, and they'll usually fix it, or they won't be in that business. But here, it's worldwide.
Well, what happens is that people do the work they do.
Yeah, they like their work. They don't.
Yeah, you know, there's. It reminds me. There was an interview with President Obama at the end of his first term, and they said, you know, what are some of the most important lessons you've learned? And he said, he said, you know, when I came into office, I thought that if I just did the work, that people would see the work and they would get it. You know, that I didn't have to do the marketing. You know, I just had to focus on doing the work.
Right.
And it would be nice if that's the way it works, but it doesn't. We have to toot our own horn. You know, we have to let people know what we're doing. We have to share our expertise. We have to talk about what we're doing, because if we don't, people don't see it. We get lost. And it only happens when you open, you know, when your customer comes in and says, did you see that review?
What review?
Do you know what people are saying about you online? I think it's terrible. And it happens all the time. And that's the way
They find out.
Many businesses find out that they have a reputation problem.
Then it's the panic button.
They hit the panic button. They go and read it, and they think, oh my goodness, how can someone say this about me? I work hard, I'm honest. I love my customers. Who would write such a thing about me? And sometimes it's a former employee who's not happy. It's a competitor who's actually paying other people to go and leave
That's low.
negative comments. It happens a lot.
Yeah, that's low. I mean, that's
And those are things you can't do anything about.
right.
Which is why it's so important that you have your own reputation program where you are regularly inviting feedback, inviting your customers to go and leave great reviews so that you have something that's outweighing the negative reviews. And you have to teach customers how to leave reviews, because what happens is customers will create a great review for you, and they'll see it posted, and a week later they'll go back
It's not there.
and it's hidden. It's not there. And they say, we wrote you a great review. What happened to it? Well, what happened to it was that the algorithms on Yelp or some other site said, we don't know this person, because it might be your customer has never written a review before. And so we don't trust this review.
But that's making a judgment too.
Well, but that's, and here's
That's
what-
really making a judgment, because I mean, it doesn't make any, to me, it wouldn't make any difference. If it's a first-time customer and they're writing a good review, that's a good review.
You have
It's a
to think of it from the review site's point of view as well.
Okay.
Their job is to ensure that they have honest reviews on the site. And if you show up and, I post a review and I say, Marlene Gibb is the greatest thing since sliced cheese, and I never come back and write a review for anyone else, or I've never written a review for anyone else before, then they say, well, who is this person? Or the algorithm says, who is this person? How do we know to trust her? And so there are things you can teach your customers that will help them to help the probability that their reviews will actually see the light of day. And so one of the things I do is teach my customers how to teach their customers to post.
Okay, so if you're looking for this great review with the one time, can you get it back up? If they put it in that gray area?
It's
what-
interesting. Well, it's interesting. A lot of businesses say that they have a great review posted, and they get a phone call asking them to advertise on the site. And they say, I don't want to advertise, and the great review disappears. And that's
Is that
a real,
because of the algorithm, or because they don't like that you didn't advertise with them?
well, there was a study done last year, I believe, at Harvard, and it took a look at the difference between people who pay for advertising and people who don't pay for advertising. And they found that there was no significant difference in the way that their reviews are handled. Now, if you go online and read, comments that are posted by business owners, and I've read hundreds and hundreds, literally, they will say that that's not their experience. There are hundreds of people posting saying that I didn't pay, my good reviews went undercover. The important thing to know is that there have been many, many lawsuits against Yelp over these types of reviews. Yelp has won every one of these. So again, you cannot leave control of your reputation to customer review sites. You have to have other places where people can find out information about you. And the reason this is important,
Well, I know it's very important, because your background has been many, many years in the high tech, and this particular problem seems to have you really
it's-
gung-ho about this.
Yeah, it does, because I see how it affects business owners.
Well, they're devastated.
They're about the work.
I know. I know.
You know, I'm a roofer. I'm a healthcare professional. I'm a restaurateur. You know, I do the work. I make the best food. I focus on making people healthy. Why are people writing these things about me? They feel helpless.
And you know where else it is? It's on doctors' sites.
Yes.
I don't know how someone can evaluate a specialist doctor.
Well,
I'm thinking, you don't have the medical background to evaluate the doctor.
Well, they're not evaluating the expertise so much as they're evaluating their experience.
Right, right.
And that's what the doctor has to understand.
Yeah.
The patient
'Cause sometimes
is,
I've looked at doctors' reviews and I think, wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found the same thing on my doctor, and I was so shocked
Yeah.
because I loved my doctor, and the reviews were excruciating. But again, there's nothing else out there to balance that. And so the point I bring back to the business owner again and again and again is you have to take control of building your own reputation. You know, you have to, it has to become an integral part of what you do in terms of marketing.
When you work with them and you get them, like me, all set up, do I continue to do it, or do you work with me to continue to do it? You know?
I always work with my customers.
So you're more. Could someone just, I don't know, hire you as a retainer that you're going to go help with the reviews and everything else to monitor those things?
Yeah, we can absolutely monitor reviews.
Because I don't think the roofer or most business people, Lura, do not want to do this.
No,
they
don't.
They want to do their work. They like their work.
They don't, and this is the service we provide. And, you know, people have to realize that today, 97% of people go online
Yeah, to look things over.
to look at reviews before they make a purchase. The more they're spending, the more likely they are to look at reviews. And this is even if they've gotten a personal recommendation from a friend or family member, they will still go online and look at the reviews. And so you can't afford to ignore it, and you can't afford to leave that to people who know nothing about your business.
Exactly.
You know, you must define for yourself what your business is.
And then I think what you're saying too is you have to define who you're going to use to do the work, like keeping up with what's happening with the reviews.
It's like having a business and deciding who's going to handle my bookkeeping.
Exactly.
You know, who's
going to do my PR? Because
Exactly.
I want to work on what I'm good at, and I really don't want to
Exactly.
get involved in all these
Exactly.
other areas of
Exactly.
social media.
But you have to be aware. You have to understand that this is critical. Reviews affect your rankings, and they affect people who use your business. You know, again, the same studies tell us 60% of people will tell us, have told us that negative reviews have in the past changed their decision to use a particular business.
That's high.
It's very important, yes.
Oh, that
it's
is
very
really-
important.
You know, it's not. I don't want to get off topic, but Amazon. I always check the book reviews when I.
So do I.
Yeah, and they have to be They have to be a verified
Yes.
Amazon customer, and you know, book reviews. That's very subjective. People, like a book, and some people hate a book. That I can understand because that's normal, and I don't think people are really out. Maybe for the author, maybe they could be, but I don't think so because if they're reading the book. But when people like the smaller businesses, it's their name.
Right.
Those are the hardest ones
Right.
to really handle.
Right. And the thing you need to keep in mind if you're a small business owner, on customer review sites, people are not looking for you to be perfect. They're looking for you to be professional. And so they're looking at how you handle reviews. And so you want to respond to every review. Whether it's a great review, you go in and say thank you, because that person has started a conversation. That person has taken the time to go in and say, you did a great job. I want the whole world to know, I'm really pleased with what you did. So you take the time and you go in, you say thank you. The next person says, I'm never coming back there again. You go in and you say, you know what, I'm really sorry to hear that.
But you still get you still get them.
You get them offline. You say, having an unhappy customer is just not how I do business. Please give me a call at this number. I will take care of you personally. If they don't respond, then you can go back in and say, I'm really sorry you didn't respond. I'm sorry this happened.
But you're acknowledging that.
You're acknowledging. You're saying this is not acceptable. I've read your comments. I take them seriously. I am looking behind the scenes and taking care of this.
Well, when you were talking earlier, you said if they write a complaint and you feel it's like about your help or whatever, and you can remedy that. What about the people who, like you were talking about, who do trolling? How do you deal with the troller? Is that what they're called?
Well, sometimes, I'll give you an example. There was one, I can remember a restaurant, and the post said, this was the worst lasagna I've ever had in my life. And the business owner came on and said, thank you for your comment, but we do not have lasagna on our menu. No, have we ever had lasagna on the menu?
Wow.
If they're making specific accusations, and again, you have to be even tempered about this.
You can't fly
You
off
can't
the
go in there and slam them or call them names or stoop to their level.
Yeah, I know.
You have to, but when people put out specific lies, you can speak to those things.
Okay.
But you have to be very, very careful how you do it.
And do you work with them on keeping their tone of voice down on the video because the temper's there. I mean, it's just right below the surface. They can pop up sometimes. You don't even realize when.
This is in writing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so you always want to read and reread and reread, and maybe wait a day or two. You never respond to people when you're angry. It just doesn't help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't use video in responding?
No, the video service we provide is a part of building reputation. It's a part of promoting reputation. We call it reputation marketing because that's really what it is. Reputation management is about protecting. It's about monitoring. It's a very defensive stance. It's finding out what's being said and going out there and being proactive in dealing with the negative comments. Reputation marketing is a proactive stance. It's an offensive stance. Proactive marketing or reputation marketing is actually where you make your money because you're taking your great reputation and you're putting it out there for people to see. And it's not you saying it, it's your customer saying it. Look what our customer said about us. So you want to take your best review, your 5-star review, and you put that into 1-minute video. And that's what we do. We make it very affordable for a business owner to focus just on the review. And that's what it is. It's not about a business owner getting on camera. It's not about getting on and talking about, we've been in business 50 years and, we're the greatest thing since sliced cheese. It's simply focusing on that review. It's letting your customer speak. And those get indexed in the search engines. And they get indexed very quickly.
And they're higher indexed, right, than others?
And they're higher indexed than the Yelp comments. And so when they come up, your name comes up. There's this great video here with your 5-star review. And it's a process. It's a process of filling, of filling out that search engine page with positive information. It's not just you put up one video and you stop. You have to have a plan, right?
And so you work with them on the plans.
I work with them on the plans.
So you do the whole package.
I do the whole package because I think
It's easier because people don't want to deal with
no,
it.
they don't. Want
You know, it takes so much energy just to do what you're good at.
Exactly.
I mean, that probably takes 90%, right? So you've got the accountant coming in, you know that's pretty, and some of the social media people, but then to try to do this whole thing along with the reputation packages, you can't humanly do it.
Right. But the business owner has to understand the value of reputation marketing. They have to understand that it's as essential as figuring out where your cash flow is coming from, because it really does affect your cash flow.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I want you to look at the camera and say your name and all your information.
Okay, my name is Lura Harrison. You can find out more about reputation videos and reputation marketing in general at my website, speakingofreputation.com. If you want to call me and speak to me directly, my number is 626-623-7586. Speakingofreputation.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was absolutely fascinating
Thank
for
you.
people to know. This is Marlene Gibb with What Do You Do?